Okay, I'm recording now. Fuck. Last time I wasn't recording. I thought I was. Anyways, so let's start again. We'll open a blank table. I got the one that I just created a ramp on. We're going to create a second ramp to match it. Plus, I forgot to put the ramp skirt on here. First thing I want to do though is I'm going to open my 64-bit version here. Open my Scarface table. I'm going to find the exact one that he used on here. If I go to ramps, the image was bottom ramp, double W. Table, image, bottom ramp, double W. Export, desktop, save. Okay. So now, let's go table, image manager, import that bottom WW. Okay, so we got that. All right, so first off, the images that he uses to make ramps in Scarface are these images here. There's this one and this one. They're transparent images. Basically, he just takes a color and he added these what you call ink blot images, and he blurs them and fades them. So there's a little bit of shadowing. And this is what he uses as a wrap for the main part of the ramp. And this, he takes the exact same image and adds a little bit more of these rectangle shadings on the side um, to make the side rails. So import those two images, and he uses a material that I think it's plastic with an image, but the way he does it is plastic with a faded image is the name of the material that he uses on his ramp. Doesn't really matter which one you use. There's actually all kinds of different materials that you can use. But if we were to compare what the materials look like, we're going to go to Material Manager. We're going to go to Plastics here. Plastic with image faded. So it is opacity at 1. It's active. Edge opacity at 1. Thickness 4.705. Shininess 0.75. Use image 0.431. This is set to 0. Uses a white with a little bit of gray in it, like a slight gray, a darker gray, and like a charcoal gray, you can say, and then black. So there you go. That would create the same type of material that this ramp uses if you don't want to import it, import from Scarface. If we go to the material manager and compare that to plastic with an image, 475. Okay, see, faded. So the difference here is edge brightness. No, actually, no. Plastic with an image. Plastic with an image and plastic with an image faded is exactly the same from what I can see. So plastic with an image, same fucking thing. So there was no, there's no point of. Let's see if it makes a difference. If it's the exact same thing, shouldn't change. When I change this to plastic with an image. Yeah, so you're good to use plastic with an image. It's the same thing. All right. So just gonna make sure everything's locked here. So I'm gonna lock. Okay. Same thing for this ramp. I'll lock all the elements before I start the other ramp. Okay. Lock. And then this one lock. All right. So we're gonna put another ramp up here, I guess. We're gonna do the same thing this time. What you want to do is start a ramp. You want to go with the start in your properties. You want to go bottom width. 120 is usually how I start the bottom of my ramp, so it's easily hit. But I want it to taper off to about 80 for the first portion of the ramp, because remember, ramps are usually in two parts. You don't want it to be just one ramp, because then it'll just keep going up, 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 nonstop. You want it to stop eventually and then flatten out. So what we're gonna do is gonna add. Let's see if to make sure this is possible to hit here. I'll put it right around here. Yeah, about here. Add another point here. Okay, so this is our first part of the ramp, and I'll make this go up to 100. This one goes up to 90. So I'm going to make this go up to 150. So this one's going to be much steeper. It's going to be the harder ramp. All right, so you got one ramp there. You want to add another ramp. This, you want to start the bottom width as 80 and the top width as 60 is fine. Perfect. Because you always want it to end up as 60 when it converts into wire ramps. All right, so you got this here. Add points. I always add one closer to where it connects so I can manipulate it to line up perfectly. Don't be afraid to zoom in to make sure everything's perfect like that. That's actually, oh, that's good enough. Now add another point here, add another point, and have this turning around. Gonna have it going this way at the slight angle. Yeah, why not? Oh, now we gotta change this here. Okay. Once these are perfectly lined up the way you want it, now it's to set the height. So 0 to 150. So this will be now 150 to 150 because you want this part to be flat. And another thing is this steep ramp is going up at the exact same percentage, or like it's always increasing in height equally all the way to the top. But what I'd like to do is I want it to be 150 high, but I'm going to put 160. And then on the very last dot, I'm going to go -10. This will taper it off. It'll make a curve in the ramp, basically. Oh, -10. Now it's still 150. If you look, real height is 150. So still going to 150. But now if we were to look, there's like a tapering. So it's not just sharp, poof, and it stops, okay? So now we got this over here. And we're going to make this ramp come and wrap around here. Okay. So now what we got to do is Control C, both these ramps, now lock them. Control V, move them aside. Control V again, move it to this side. Well, actually, no. Just use the first two sets here. And now we got to increase, no, click on both of them. Physics, non-collidable. I want to remove that. I want to put them as wraps. I'm not going to go into the images right now, but what you want to do is the widths be 14 at the top and bottom, like that. And left wall, right wall, you want those at zeros because you don't want any walls at all whatsoever on these. You want these to be flat, just flat surface. Now you click on one, and we're going to add 55 to these numbers. So bottom height 55, 160 plus 55 is 215. And over here is going to be 150 is 205. 205. 205. There we go. So now these two are done. I'm going to just duplicate these now. Control C, Control V. Now I'm going to have two sets of them. All right, perfect. Now for these ones, we're going to set the side walls to 55 on each side. And the reason you put it so high for these, it's just this type of wrap usually is like a bathtub, right? It's very deep. It has high walls, and that's just the way they look. It's the style, right? So 55 is about the right height. It's the height that's used in the Scarface table anyways. All right. Now, all you have to do is line up all the dots on either side of the ramp here. Like this. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. All right, so and you want it to overlap just slightly, not by much, just oh, I'm moving the whole ramp. I just want to move one dot. Like that. But you want it to line those lines to line up. And if you do that, there shouldn't be any holes or cracks. Should be good. So this one here, actually the bottom needs to be moved up. There we go. Lock, that one's done. Next, just keep doing that. So you've done all 4 pieces. If you know exactly what I'm doing here at this point, then you can fast forward till I start doing the wire ramps or texturing these. I'm going to be texturing these after. Show you what I do for the textures. So there we go. Just gotta make sure everything's lined up like that. There we go. That one's good on that side. This side now. Oh, zooming in too much. All right, so okay, so these are lined up perfectly. This one's not. Now it is. You gotta make it overlap just slightly. Like that. Like that. That's good. Last piece. Just align the dots and lines with a slight overlap. It's not rocket science. You're gonna get this first try and you'll understand it when you do it. It's nothing hard here. Oh, there we go. This one's not straight. There, that's good. All right, so these, just gonna double check to make sure that these are non-collidable. Yeah, we're good. All right, so now for the texture on these, the image is the one that looks like this with the 2 rectangles on each side. In this case, it's called plastic ramp borders, you'll see. So plastic red border, there we go, that's one. And then the material is plastic with an image. With an image. And you want to make sure this is set to wrap. Now we'll lock those. As far as the main part of the ramp, the image is the same thing, but not the borders one, just the regular one, which is this one. So you want to put that as wrap, not world, as wrap, and plastic with an image. There we go. So that's set. Now we're going to put the bed skirts on both these ramps. All that is really, okay, so we know that to this point it's 77, right? So what we're going to do is add a ramp at the bottom here, and we're going to make this ramp non-collidable. And we want it to be about this much here, but we want to be almost as wide, so we're going to go bottom width 110, maybe 105, 105 to 105, maybe 100. Yeah, that's more like it. And I'll center it. Maybe that's even slightly too big, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so now if I were to add a point on the main ramp, we know that here it's 18, 14 something. Control C, all right? So this one, just to make sure, I'm going to put it in 0 to 19. So we know it's going to go over no problem, all right? And we can remove this dot from that ramp. Just this, okay. So this is 0 to 19. You want this to be non-collidable. And this one, you want this image to be wrapped. And the image is called bottom. What's it called? Bottom something here. Bottom ramp WW. I usually make my own, but you whatever. We'll use this one. And you could set this as metal. And we're going to add another one on the other side, on the other ramp. Control C, log this, Control V. We're going to go over here and set this one same way. Just going to make sure that the heights are good here. Let me add, so this one is 11, so 1196 here, so this should be 12. So we're going to undo that dot. But this ramp is going to go 0 to 12. There we go. Now let's see what it looks like. Oh, I forgot to remove the sidewalls on those. Oops. So make sure the right wall is 0, left wall is 0. Same thing on this one. 0, 0. Play. There. So there you go. Now you got 2 ramps going perfectly here. Don't mind the lighting on the table. It's really weird. So I could change that right now. I think, do I have JP's lighting here somewhere on the table? No, I don't. Okay, well, let's go to table, image manager, import. I'm just going to go get the Fluppers one, which is in my work in progress. Is it? The previews? No. And where did I put it at? Work in progress is here. Flupper bumpers to import. Shiny environment. There it is. I'm only going to do this for, so he clicks on the playfield, go to lights. Okay, this should be black. Both of these should be black. Click OK. That's good, that's good. Environment image. This should be the shiny one we just checked. Oh, we got both of these. We'll use the fixed one. That seems good. Not sure what the numbers should be. I can't remember all the time. It's already a lot better, as you can tell. Okay. Let's go to, which one do I use that on? File, open. I know I use it on Peacemaker. I'm gonna go previews. No. Work in progress. Peacemaker is somewhere in here. Peacemaker. And there it is. Table, image manager, JPs. That's the environmental image I love. It really, it's like putting icing on the cake. So that's out there. See, this is supposed to be 50,000, not 5,000. Okay. So that's one thing I got to change. Power 2, let's see. Okay, bloom strength 0.75. Okay. So if I go here, table image, table image manager, import, desktop, JPCGR. Okay. This should be 50,000. This should be JPs. There it is. Environmental emission 2 is fine. Ambient occlusion scale, that's good. Bloom strength. That's, well, if you're in 10.8, you have to put it much lower. That's why it's lower on here. We'll try 0.75 for now. And the reflection scale is 0, so no, I want it to be 1 is fine. Let's check what it looks like right now. Boom, a lot better. So much better. All right, so we got these. Now we're going to do the return ramp on the other side. And so you go to ramp. This we know is 150 high. Yeah, so we're going to have another ramp here. Bottom will be 150. And then we'll have it return to this one here. Or should, no, I'll have it come to this one. Yeah, up to here. So this one should be bottom height 150 and goes to 65. And we want that to be a 2-wire ramp. No, not 1 wire, 2 wires. There we go. Now let's start adding the points. First things first, you got to make sure that these 2 circles are lined up perfectly. Perfect. Okay. Now let's start shaping this. I'll try to make it wrap, the illusion of wrapping around this ramp here a little bit. Move the smoothness on this one. It's more of a sharper corner. Actually, no, put that smooth. Yeah. This is actually going to be too close to the edge. Have to bring it in a little bit. You know what? I'm not sure if I made these collidable or not collidable on this one. Oh, got to remove the collidable. There we go. I didn't do it on that one. All right, so we're almost done. Smooth that. There we go. You know, I could just move this whole ramp to go so it returns to this one instead. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to highlight everything here. And we're going to move it towards the right. Unlock. And move. Move to this one. There we go. Now there's more room for this one. So I can actually... Oh, shit. I pressed undo. I didn't want to press undo. Oh, fuck everything. Move slightly off here. Okay, move. That's fine. That right there. Lock it. Now it's all locked. Oh, didn't lock this one. Lock. All right, now I can go finish this. So we know that this come here. Put another dot here, so I can put this smooth. Another dot here. Make sure this is not smooth. This is straight as can be. This was a curve. There we go. Now it's starting to make sense. I'm trying to follow the curvature of the other ramp. So it looks really cool when you have a shot or a ball coming down both of them at the same time. If that ever happens. In the event that happens. Just that. There we go. Now we can lock that. Or wait, no, unlock, Control C. Now lock it, Control V. So now you got a duplicate. And we're going to change these to a 1-wire ramp. And we're going to make these non-collidable. And we're going to make these the height. Now these are going to be higher than the 2 wires here, and you want it to tuck underneath here. These were 55 higher than the main ramp. So I want these to start at 50 higher up here, but I only want it to be 40 higher down here where the 2 rings are. So what I'm going to do is go plus 50 on the top height. Wait, bottom height. Blue is for bottom. So bottom height plus 50 is 200. And then 65 plus 40 is 105. So now I got the right heights. So I can go Control C. Move it. I'm just, oh, Control C. Move that out of the way. And Control V. So now we got our 2 wires. I just need to place them and align them with a sufficient amount of space from here on out. Like this. Perfect. Okay, so make sure all the dots line up. See, this one's not lining up, so pull it in a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Should be right there. Okay, should be one here. One here. Should be here. Got it. Okay, the next one's here. There it is. I want to try to keep the same amount of distance, space in between the wire and the main set of wires, obviously. Let's move these out of the way for now. Continue with this one. Oh, that's way off. Should be right here. Next one. Wait, no, this one should be a little lower. And shit, this one should be around here. Yeah, got it. Next one should be there. About here. This one's good. This one isn't. Needs to be moved up. Good now. This one needs to be moved up. But let me see here. It makes a straight line this way, see? And then this one should be right there. There we go. We got her. Same thing with this one. Start from the bottom this time, but I'm working my way up. Oh, so this one should be down here. So these should be lining up like this. It's good. So this one should be lined up that way. Yep. Good. This one should be right there. I'm always using the center ramp to guide myself to line it. The outer ramp or the support wire, whatever you want to call it. That's not a support wire, it's a guide wire. Support wires we're going to do after we did the rings at the end. Oh, this is way off. Should be down here. A little bit higher. This should be lower. Should be higher a little bit. There we go. This one should be down here. Perfect. Only a few more to go. Oh, the spacing is wrong though. Should be a little bit more. Okay. Now here at the top. Oh, wait. All right. Now that we're at the top, what I like to do here is add an extra point right about here before, and we're going to click on the dot and remove the right click on it, I should say, and remove smooth. So then you can put these at an angle like this. I like to angle these out a little bit like that. Maybe not so much there, but just about like that. Move these up a little bit like that. Yeah, there you go. Now these should look like real ramps. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Just need to turn them into metal. Metal dark. So click, click, click. Metal dark. Leave it on world. And we can lock all of these. Play. There we go. So now we got two sets of ramps right here. Actually, now the skirt ramps, I don't like them being so dark. So this set of metal, I'm going to go plastic with an opaque image. See if that looks better. Oh yeah, much better. All right, so now we're going to do the rings, same that we did on this side, and support wires. So how do you do that? Well, that's simple. It's a one-wire ramp, so you got to shorten the ramp first thing. And you want this to be a one-wire ramp like that. All right, so there's two ways of doing it. You can do it with 2 wires for each ring, or you can do it 1 wire each ring. I prefer to do it 1 wire. That's the technique I'll show you. Okay, and with these, you want to line up the center line, not the outer edge, the center line, like that. I know it seems like it's not lining up, but it will be when you load it in to look at it. Okay, so there we go. This side will line up perfectly, though, on the outside, because this is the bottom, this is the top. That's what's the problem is. That line is not in the middle for some reason. So this will now line up perfectly. Oh, like that. All right, so now let's add some dots here. pretty big. So the top one looks more like a D, like the letter D, or a bump like that. That's what you want for the top one. So this one, since it's the top, we know that this height is 105, so this should be 105 to 105. 105 to 105. We want this to be non-collidable. We want that to be metal dark. There we go. Now we're going to duplicate it. So Control C, lock it, Control V, and now we want this one to be 65 to 65. And now we're going to take these two dots over here and we're going to bring them in here. And we're going to line them up like this on the other edge. Oh. Other edge like this. Then we're going to add a dot. I'm going to add a few dots actually, just to make this more of a circle. Like that. It's going to be slightly bigger than the top D. Mind you, this is how I make it. It's not perfect, but it works. All right, so now we got that done. Now to make sure that it's lined up, what we're going to do is going to take the top wire, going to make it invisible, and we're going to load it like this. So we want to see the bottom one to make sure it's lined up, and it looks pretty lined up. It's a little slightly off to the right one, this one here. As you can see, it was. So just need to line that up with that line. There you go. Now it should be fixed. So we can log that. Now we'll make this one visible. And let's see what it looks like now. Ta-da! So now we got the rings on the ends. Everything's lined up. Let's put some support wires. Support wire is going to be another 1-wire ramp. And shrink it. Shrinkity-dink. Yeah, I'm going to try to use the other ramp as an example of how far apart I want my wires to be. So right around here. And I want them to extend slightly past the wires. Like that. Try to square this off as much as possible. There we go. All right. So now we need to know what the height is right here. So we're going to add a dot on the main ramp just to get this information here, the height. Control C. Now we can remove that dot. You can either press Control Z, which is what I'm going to do, or you can click on the dot and press delete. Now take the wire, bottom height, Control V, bottom and top height, Control V. So now this is perfect all the way across. Now we're going to add 2 more dots on the outer side of these, slightly out like that. There we go. This is not far enough here. Okay. There we go. So now what you want to do is click on the end of the wires. This set, we want it to be 40 on each side. You just add 40. So this is going to create that U effect, the U shape that you want. It's like that, see? Because we know that the wire is 40. This wire is 40 higher than this wire. Actually, I could go 45 because it does go 50 higher at the top, but we'll start with 40 down here. Actually, I'm going to go 42. 42. Let's make this metal dark. Make sure it's not collidable because it will affect it. Then Control C. Let's lock it. Control V. Zoom out. How far away do we want it? Right about here, I think. Yeah. So now we just need to know the height of this situation. So again, add a dot just to get the information. Control C, then Control C to remove the dot, and then Control V Control V. Now I know these are going to be already 42 on both sides, which is fine, but I'm going to go 45 at this point. 45. 45, because these wires are separating from the main set of ramps a little more all the way to the top. So Control C, lock, Control V. We got another one. And we're going to put this one. Okay, now they're starting to gap more, so we'll go right about here. We're going to rotate counterclockwise. If it's counterclockwise, it's minus, so we're going to go minus 20, I think. Yeah, that's about right. Oh, and there's a dot right here. Put it right there. 97 here. We'll put it right on that dot. And Control V. Control V, so that's 97, whatever, on both sides. There we go, got this one done. So click on it, Control C, lock it, Control V, go a little bit higher. Here I'd say, and then we got to rotate clockwise. So now 40. Yeah, it's pretty good. Add a dot here just to find out the height. Control C that, then Control Z. Over here, Control V, Control V. There we go. So that one's in the right spot. Oh, I gotta remove this dot. Delete. There. So now that's good. 45 is still good at this point. Maybe, actually, I'm gonna go, instead of 45 here, I'm gonna put 48. 48 here. And 48 there. Control C. Lock, Control V. And then one here. And one much closer to the start afterwards. So I'm going to rotate this 20 degrees around clockwise. Oh, even more. 10. Perfect. And now, oh, there's a dot there, but it's not exactly where I want it. This is right about, yeah, a little bit more down, actually, like right here. And click on this, add a dot, get the info, Control C, then Control Z to remove the dot, then paste the info on the support wire heights, and that's done. Control C, lock it, Control V. Time for the last support wire, which will go really close to the end here. And this one, the ends, we know we want it to go to 50. 50. 50. All right. Let's rotate that. Rotate to 30, I think. That's a little too much. Rotate -2. Perfect. So now, how far away from the, yeah, that's about it. I guess we're going to have to add a dot here. Get this information. Control C. Move the dot. And in here, go Control V. Control V. Done. Log that. And let's see what it looks like now. Ta-da! You get all your support wires. So let's see what it shoots like, just for fun. Come down here. Ooh, that one works really well. Now, I don't know if I did all the collidables for the other ramp or when I did it. Well, there you go, Tilt. I need plastics and walls for this one, but there you go. That's how you do that.